in the book of Acts, chapter 25. The trial before Festus. 3 days after arriving in the province, Festus went up from Caesarea to Jerusalem, where the chief priests and Jewish leaders appeared before him and presented the charges against Paul. They urgently requested Festus, as a favor to them, to have Paul transferred to Jerusalem, for they were preparing an ambush to kill him along the way. Festus answered, Paul is being held at Caesarea, and I myself am going there soon. Let some of your leaders come with me and press charges against the man there, if he has done anything wrong. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick pause here. Okay, let's continue on. After spending 8 or 10 days with them, he went down to Caesarea, and the next day he convened the court and ordered that Paul be brought before him. When Paul appeared, the Jews who had come down from Jerusalem stood around him, bringing many serious charges against him, which they cannot prove. Then Paul made his defense. I have done nothing wrong against the law of the Jews, or against the temple, or against Caesar. Festus, wishing to do the Jews a favor, said to Paul, Are you willing to go up to Jerusalem and stand trial before me there on these charges? Paul answered, I am now standing before Caesar's court, where I ought to be tried. I have not done any wrong to the Jews, as you yourself know very well. If, however, I am guilty of doing anything deserving death, I do not refuse to die. But if the charges brought against me by these Jews are not true, no one has the right to hand me over to them. I appeal to Caesar. After Festus had conferred with his council, he declared, You have appealed to Caesar. To Caesar you will go. Okay, so there's a lot here. And I bet Paul did not think that he would be utilized in such a way to even speak to someone like Caesar. He was, again, a Pharisee. He was someone who was well known within the leaders of Judaism in that area. And he probably never knew that he was going to be speaking to Caesar on behalf of the way, on behalf of the teachings of Christ. And so now here he is, has been attacked, has been stoned and thought dead, has been searched for to be killed and murdered. As we can see right now, there has been, or as we read in the previous Bible study to this one, that there was an attempt that they want to have him taken to Jerusalem so that while he's on his way to Jerusalem, that they could ambush or just kill him in Jerusalem. And instead, so he has obtained this information from people that know him from the Lord. And so he has said what he said in the court, being a Roman citizen, and now is appealing to Caesar. And so here's Festus. He's between one group of people that want to see him send Paul to Jerusalem to stand trial for these things, these accusations that no one has proven, but yet Paul has appealed to Caesar. So guess what? He is going with the laws that are for Roman citizens and allowing him to appeal to Caesar and go to Caesar. So, and there is a lot here. Listen to this. Paul answered, I am now standing before Caesar's court, where I ought to be tried. I have not done anything wrong to the Jews, as you yourself know very well. Exactly. Think about this. He was teaching what it is to live like Jesus. Jesus was a person who fulfilled the law. He was teaching that we needed to look to Jesus as our guide, as the way. We've always wanted to bring past to present. We've always wanted, the people always sought to be holy and what it was to be holy. Well, the law proved that not a single man could be holy, could follow the law. So we needed an example. And Jesus was that fulfillment. Jesus was the example. And so now he too, not doing anything against the law, not lying, not murdering, not stealing, not bearing false witness, not stealing, not plotting murder. You look at the 10 Commandments, he's following teaching of Christ, and yet people are plotting and planning against him. People who are supposedly following the law. It says a lot, right? And so bringing past to present, that does happen. It can happen quite often when you are being truthful, when you are being upfront, when you are on a path with Christ. A lot of times things can come up, accusations can come up, things to make your life difficult for no reason and out of nowhere, from left field, from people that you may have thought you knew, from strangers, from who knows where. But things can happen that can make times difficult. The best and only thing to do is to lean on the Lord. He can provide the guidance and he can provide the support. That is our good shepherd. Before we go on, though, what kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind when we read over this? How does it make you feel and what does it make you think?